Hello, everybody. I am super excited today to talk to Renee Huse and Tim Ward about the value of the Mortgage Center app. Actually, it's called the Home Center app. I make sure that it's called its proper name. I just wanted to introduce both Tim Ward, who is from Hometown Financial here at MCC, and we have Renee Huse, who is Spire Mortgage Team powered by MMG Mortgage at MCC. So thank you both for joining me today in this discussion, because I think this is one of the tools right now that is very popular. It is actually the #1 downloaded mortgage app in Canada. It was created by Ben Salami from Bendige Technologies. Tech is a huge thing for us here at the DLC group of companies. It's just one of the ways that we give back to our people in helping them do business. Now, Ben provides monthly updates on the app, and I'm always blown away with the amount of value that he brings out to the industry. Just a little plug on the fact that you can download the app both on an Android device and an Apple. So let's get started today to talk a little bit about the value adds for the app. So how long have both of you guys been using the app to date?
So I am a diehard fan. I think it became available through MCC. We discussed in 2019, but I actually paid for the original app and have exchanged notes with Ben as he was developing it. So I've been a diehard fan really since the beginning. I think it's just an awesome app, and I'm so glad that it's now available to us at MCC.
Awesome. Tim?
Yeah, I remember, I think we said, 2019 was when it first came out. I started in the mortgage industry early 2018. And one of the first events I attended, Ben was up on stage and he was talking about the app, and he kind of sold it. And then I remember, I think I had the original one, which was kind of like a green color before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great when it, became MCC and then branded, and started using it as soon as it came out. So yeah, it's been in my toolbox since whenever that first day it arrived at MCC.
Awesome. Now, both of you, we did a little pre-call. We talked about different ways that you guys introduce and share the app in your business. So I thought, you've got two different ways on you guys both doing it. So Renee, share with us how you introduce it with your clients.
So I use it a lot in my pre-approval emails. So when our comprehensive pre-approval goes out to a client, we usually have a few different scenarios. And at the end of those scenarios, we say, and here's an awesome way for you to run additional numbers on your own. And we've also put together a little YouTube video that just explains some of the key features of the app and how to use it. So the clients get the link to the YouTube video and the link to download the app. And we find it really effective. Lots of clients download it to run for their scenarios.
Perfect. Now, I'm huge on video stuff, and I know some people on the call right now might be thinking, oh my goodness, video, I don't know if I can implement that into my business. So how long does it take you to actually do a quick video to the customer, just explaining them what you're sending them?
Okay, so in the original pre-approval emails, often we just send the link to our one YouTube video that explains how to use the app. But if somebody actually has a lot of questions about scenarios, maybe they're buying a rental property or they're really struggling with down payment, what I'll do is I'll print one of the actual reports from the app, and I will just record myself just using Vidyard or something, going through it and highlighting all the key points for the clients. And honestly, it's about 3 to 5 minutes max to put that video together. And the clients just find it so useful. I just think it's such a deeper dive into what they're actually looking at obtaining for a mortgage.
Awesome. And definitely a way to differentiate yourself out there in the market. Now, Tim, I know we talked a little bit about how you utilize it. So tell us a little bit about how you share or introduce it into your business.
Yeah, so I introduced it to a lot of my real estate referral partners in the pre-COVID world, when I could, go around and stand in front of them and do presentations. So in my slide deck, it was actually the first slide I'd have up there, me, my name, and I had my unique link to the MCC app as well. And I encouraged all of them to, sit there and download it right there, so they could, if they're with clients, go around houses, they've already kind of got my face there that they're thinking about. To kind of, sell me. But so they can run really easy calculations, like, if we look at a 25-year AM, what the interest rate, what a payment would be like for you on this. I text it to my clients as well. So as opposed to, handing out people business cards, if someone asks me, for my information, I will just send them, get their number and text them the link to the app that they can download. They can then play with that, and they've got all of my contact information on there as well. So that's, a great way for me to share and kind of get myself top of mind of some people and, kind of reiterate that I'm here.
Awesome. Now, when I talk about the app, obviously in my sales presentations, I always bring up the fact that you can utilize the app in 3 different ways. One of them is obviously with your clients, which, Renee has touched on. One of them is for yourself, which Tim has touched on. And then the third way you can utilize it is with your realtors or your referral partners. Now, Tim, you mentioned during the pre-call that you utilize it from your realtor standpoint. So tell us a little bit about how you use it with them.
I think I already kind of touched on that. The way I utilize it the most, though, is for myself personally, actually. So it's more to do with if I have a call with a client, and if I want to run some really quick numbers and calculations with them, I will just have it kind of populated, as long as you know the purchase price, the potential down payment they have available, ballpark a rate. You can, spit out some really quick calculations for, what that payment would look like. And you can compare 25 and 30-year AMs really quickly without having to, open up an application in Expert, Velocity, whatever it is that you use. Velocity.
Velocity.
It's not a velocity call.
The big champion.
Different discussion.
But also, if I want to quote someone like land transfer tax really quickly as well, that's the other way that I would just by having it in there. There's a section you can go to land transfer tax, estimate closing costs, things like PST. In Ontario, we have this discussion, not relevant in other properties, but the PST in Ontario, if I want to tell someone how much that's going to be as a closing cost. Once I know that the property purchase price amount and the down payment, then it also calculates the PST for me, which is a great way of sharing that to my clients and giving them the heads up about that closing cost as well.
Awesome. Now, just a little tip on the realtor side of things. How I like to share is when a realtor is with a client, final hour bidding war on an actual property, the realtor can actually do scenarios for the client to show them if they put that extra $50,000 down on the property, what it means for their mortgage, which is a priceless way for them to use the tool. So if you haven't already given that in the hands of your realtor partners, I would definitely suggest that you do that. All right, so throwing it out there, I know you guys talked about a lot of different ways that you guys have utilized the tool, but if you could pick one of your favorite things about the tool, what would that be? Renee, we'll start with you.
Okay. So my favorite is actually the comparison tool. So oftentimes you get clients debating 25 or 30-year amortization. So it's really easy to put a comparison together for them. Or, you get down to that client that's very rate sensitive and they're talking about a 5 basis point difference in rate. So it's very easy to do that rate comparison for them and just show them how little it actually is over the life of that mortgage. A big thing that I've been using it for recently is the conversation of, should I save for the 20% down payment? Maybe that's going to take me another 3 years. Or should I put a 5% down payment down? And what does that actually look like in terms of mortgage pay down over the next 5 years? And obviously, mortgage pay down is massive. It's bigger than it's ever been for a client looking at a mortgage right now. And so it's really cool to look at that mortgage pay down each year and over the 5-year term side by side, compare those 2 scenarios. So that's my favorite thing to use it for, whether it's at my fingertips, at a realtor's fingertips, or at the client's fingertips. And then the one thing I just wanted to comment about is that we were talking about like time spent earlier when we kind of did our pre-call. And so what I find I can get wrapped up in with clients is exchanging hundreds of emails about different scenarios, different purchase prices, changing a purchase price by 5 or 10%. What does that actually mean? Comparing 2 things. And so teaching clients how to use that app can just be so powerful because they can be actually running some numbers themselves and having those conversations with spouses or that kind of thing. And what I find is that if I invested 15 minutes in showing somebody how to use that app, that I can save myself hours of like feedback loop with that client in the future as they make their decision for what works. So that's my favorite.
what I'm hearing is it's saving you time and money.
You bet.
All right. So Tim, I know when we did the pre-call, you wanted to share your screen with us in terms of, how you utilize it or what is your favorite thing with it. So I'll let you share your screen and share what your favorite stuff is.
Yeah. So my absolute favorite part of the app, and sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once, so I'm failing right here, is how you can create a really simple like PDF for your clients to go through like multiple different scenarios to do with their mortgages or mortgage. So here I've just created kind of a basic one, and this is kind of going to be Ontario specific because that's where I'm based. But so you can look at the, you can plug in like the purchase price, so the $500,000 here, down payment, I've just got minimum down payment on there, shows you the mortgage amount, including the mortgage insurance. And then, you plug in a rate, change a few different scenarios. You can now add heat, actually. That's a new feature they've added in recently. It used to all be lumped in other expenses, but now I can kind of divide heat for, GDS, TDS purposes. You can include other expenses here as well. And then property taxes, just put an arbitrary figure in there. You need to make sure you're putting that in monthly as opposed to yearly. But then it gives your client the total monthly cost. If you have an investment property as well, you can add rental income into here as well. And then it gives you either a negative or a positive figure here. So you can show the client what cash flow is going to look like really simply through this. You can also show them, a larger summary. So, if they just do monthly, it's not accelerated or anything. It shows you the time remaining, ballpark the rates, like I said in here, present market rates, Ontario for high ratio, 5% down. Shows you the principal interest, semi-annual compounding. You can change that, I think, to monthly compounding now as well. Ben added that in recently too, if you need to. You can add lump sum prepayments in here too, so that will show you the effect of that. I typically don't do that for my clients. If they ask me about it, then I'll run that scenario for them. Term interest, well, we all know what this is. You can do an amortization schedule. But my favorite part is coming up now is going to be the land transfer tax, which will obviously be applicable on a purchase. If you are a first-time home buyer, you can just check a yes button, and then that will reduce this by the 4,000. And then you can do the closing costs. And so what I do is I have like an email template that I send out to every client when I'm doing a purchase transaction, refinance transaction with them. And I give them an idea of what their closing costs are going to come by, along with, all of the things I just showed you as well, to give them a really specific breakdown and analysis into their mortgage, closing costs, land transfer tax, amortization. And it's honestly, it's so simple to do in the app, and it saves me so much time by just having that one template, catering this to their scenarios. And, once I do it before sometimes when I get mortgages approved. But, sometimes if I get the approval back and then I send them this, say, look, this is, ballpark of what to expect your lawyer to ask you for closing costs. So, make sure you have this together. I also send this to them again a couple of weeks before closing, just to make sure, they've got the funds set aside. And because we all know lawyers, do their job the last minute and don't give their clients the final closing costs until closer. So I like to prepare them and have this ready for them. So yeah, that's my favorite part, is really simply creating an in-depth analysis of the whole mortgage equation, and closing costs is kind of my favorite bit.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim, for sharing that. What I'm hearing is value, 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 time, 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 money, money, money. So those are the three things I've taken away so far. Now, there's a couple of things I forgot to touch on. One of the questions I had is, have either of you customized the app to your own brand and colors? Because we just saw Tim, he had it in blue, but I know that you can customize it as you wish. And Renee, I know you've done that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just think it's really nice to add your own branding to it. It looks less canned. And honestly, like, I'm sorry, Ben, but everyone thinks it's my app, which is, I think, part of the idea, right? And I take all the credit for it. I'm just letting you know, Ben. I hope you
People think I designed the app myself. Realtors are like, oh my God, you have an app? Yeah, I spent all the money on developing that, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Awesome.
But yeah, I think it's great. I always, I have the, like quick joke that I always make with my clients or my realtors, just to say, like, please download my app. It's branded with my smiling face, so that you can download, so that you think of me every time you have a client that needs a mortgage or that kind of thing, right? So it's so nice to be able to customize it, I think.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Ben takes a lot of time to make sure he listens to people like ourselves, giving him feedback, and he is committed to upgrading and changing and making it more efficient every single month. One of the newest features he's brought out is the calculation of interest only payments. We did talk a little bit about it on the pre-call. Renee, you mentioned that you have played around with it, so share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think I do a lot of sort of hybrid type mortgages where clients might have like a partial line of credit and a partial mortgage amount. And there's always that question of how much flexibility do I want in my, home equity line of credit or step M1, whatever it is, and how much do I want in a traditional fixed mortgage? And so the great thing about the interest only payment is it allows clients to make some of those calculations themselves and just sort of, because I end up, again, it's that feedback circle, right? Like, well, what if it was 100 and 150? What if it was 110 and 140? 2 days later, what if it was 200? And it's just that feedback circle, right? So I just find any information that they can calculate themselves so they can go back and, have a thoughtful conversation with their spouse about it is so helpful. So that interest only has been really helpful to just add to the, arsenal of things that they can access.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely giving the client the power and control and obviously minimizing the amount of questions. Tim, is there anything else as an ambassador of the app that you want to share?
We should have talked about, which we haven't.
Okay.
And that's the pre-qualification certificate you can get on it actually, which is like great. I mean, so, a lot of clients, maybe they aren't ready to kind of commit to you. They don't want to, send you documents, do a credit check. If you send them the app, there's a pre-qualification tool on it. Of course, we all know pre-qualification is pre-qualification. But, if they kind of put in their information of what they think their income is, it's a really simple process. It takes them a few minutes, but basically, the simple stuff, income, debts, all that kind of stuff. Estimate your credit score, and then it will send them a certificate. It'll email it to you as well, so you get to see kind of what they're pre-qualified for as well. And then you can use that as like a touch point in the future. If you want to, go back to them and say, oh, hey, look, I see you've done this in the creepy eyes, see everything the world is watching you fashion. But yeah, it means you get that option to follow up with them in the future and to get them, actually pre-approved, because we all know that's far more valuable.
That's such a good point. And that's like, I think as clients sort of come down the funnel and learn increasingly more about mortgage brokers, they'll expect less of a bank type feel. But that's exactly like, they're going to go on TD Mortgage Solutions or tdmortgages.ca or CIBC or whatever it is to do that pre-qualification tool. I'd rather them do it with my smiling face beside it, right?
The
so that when they circle back to it. Yeah.
I get RBC ones advertised to me all the time, right? So yeah, absolutely. If they're going to get pre-qualified with us, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Tim. Yes, that's definitely one of the great features about the app. It's extremely intelligent. It calculates location, mill rates. Like it takes all of the guesswork out of it for you, and also differentiates both of you and all the agents that use it in the market. So
when someone's pre-qualifying as well, actually. So it does estimate their property taxes and things like that based on their region. So it's quite intelligent like that, because obviously clients aren't really going to know on a purchase what their property tax is going to be. So it kind of takes that out of the client equation of things they don't understand, wouldn't know, how to work with.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think this concludes our session today. I want to thank you both for taking the time to kind of share the way you use the app. I want a shameless little plug for Ben that if you haven't checked it out, you haven't downloaded it, go to your Apple Store or your Google Play Store. It's called the Home Center app. Check it out today. Check out this video. We also have on mymortgagecenter.com. It's a video tutorial on how to set it up. But of course, myself, Manesh, are always available should you have any questions on how to use the tool. And we hope that you find this quick video useful. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.